drone layers worth saving? For one, that for sure this is a drone layer, which is an actual queen bee who is run out of sperm or she's otherwise injured herself and she started laying unfertilized eggs, which become drones. So there's another scenario where there is no queen and there hasn't been a queen in a while, there hasn't been brood in a while, and you have workers that are laying eggs that are becoming drones. So you have to make sure, for one, it's a drone layer, not laying workers, because my answer is very different. For a drone layer, I think most of the time they are worth saving. When I determine this, and this is actually about the time of year that I will see it, is usually a lot of those older queens, they may go into winter fine, and maybe I could have noticed that they were failing. Maybe they had a few more drone cells than they should have, and I just missed them. They'll almost stop laying. Mid-January we'll get here, they'll start laying again, and they'll be laying drone eggs, unfertilized eggs. It's a pretty common thing that they'll fail as they're cranking back up, it seems like. If I catch that hive quickly enough, and by that I mean you have significant drones in that hive, usually that's how you notice is you open a hive, or even at the entrance, you'll see drones. They're usually a little smaller than your normally raised drones because they're raised in a worker cell. So they don't get quite as chunky as the normal drones that are produced intentionally, if you will, in the spring. But you open it up, there's a ton of drones, big red flag already before you even pull a comb or frame. If the colony is 2/3 or more drones, let's say, like very few worker bees, it's probably been going on a while. That colony might not be worth saving. You'll also notice that a lot of little diseases and varroa, all that goes along with the drone layer over time. But if I look in that colony and there's way too many drones, but there's still a good many worker bees, I think they are worth saving. So I will go in, I will normally take out some of those frames with drone brood on them, some of the brood frames. I may even scratch them just to kill those drones. I'll go into a good healthy colony and I will take a healthy frame with some worker brood. I don't even really care too much if it's all sealed or all not. Some sealed is good. And I'll put probably 1 or 2 frames in. And if I have a queen, I'll put a new queen in. If I won't, I have to find and kill that old queen. It can get a little complicated because as time goes on, that queen may actually have died. They may have actually killed her. But if you can find that old queen, go ahead, pinch her. If you happen to have, and I tend to keep like little tiny amounts of removal bees with a queen for this thing where I don't have access to queens to purchase. And I'll take one of those queens and I'll go ahead and requeen that hive. And honestly, most of the time it works. Like I said, it just kind of depends on when you catch it. And if it's mostly drones aren't doing a whole lot for the colony. They're just eating. At the point where it's a whole lot of drones, it's probably too late. But if you're kind of towards the beginning or middle of that process, unlike in a laying worker colony, the pheromones aren't all wrong. In fact, sometimes you can see them taking those drone cells and trying to make a queen cell out of them. And to me, that's a really good sign because a laying worker wouldn't try to raise a new queen versus workers that are struggling with a drone layer will actually go in and try to raise something. It won't work unless you give them good brood. But anytime bees are kind of trying to make a queen cell, I think that's a good sign for getting them to accept another queen. So that's the long answer.